Ladies and gentlemen, UFC 198 is going to be Uriah-Hall versus Anderson-Silva. And a lot of people compare these two head-to-head, saying that Uriah-Hall is a newer version of Anderson-Silva with his elusive movement, his spinning kicks, and everything like that. And we know what Anderson-Silva is capable of doing. He has a 16 UFC victory record, beating some of the best in the world: Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, Dan Henderson, and Forrest Griffin. The dude is notorious for whooping ass and taking names, but if you don't engage him, he can be looked at as a very, very boring fighter. And when he's in his 40s, I don't know if he's going to be the best guy anymore. And we see Michael Bisping beat him, and Michael Bisping engaged him, and all he wanted to do is bob and weave and playing games, and those playing game times are over. I think fighters are getting past it and coming forward. And Uriah-Hall has the ability to win if he doesn't start slow, doesn't do sluggish. If he comes out like he did against Gegard Mousasi, he will be able to win, because I think he head kicked him and knocked him out. So at the end of the day, this fight's going to be great if it's happening. It says targeted for UFC 198. So Uriah-Hall, I think, has the ability to win by decision. I think he's not going to rush in and do anything stupid, because I still think Anderson-Silva has power. Anderson-Silva tries to evade people to come in by dancing and moving. So when you're thinking, oh, he's dancing and moving, I'm going to come in, he cracks you. But if you don't engage him, his fights are boring. Look at the fight with him, Anderson-Silva versus Damian Maia. One of the most boringest fights ever. And then targeted for UFC 200 is Travis Browne versus Cain Velasquez. Cain's only had 2 losses in his MMA career, and he's beaten Alex Overeem, Junior Dos Santos, Brock Lesnar, and even Junior Dos Santos. And at the end of the day, I don't think Travis Browne can hang and bang with this guy. Travis Browne might have knockout power, but he doesn't have the cardio, and he definitely doesn't have the ground game. Because once you're thinking Cain's going to strike with you, he takes you down. Then when you think he's going to take you down and you're trying to block your guard so he doesn't take you down, he stands and bangs with you. He might not have the most devastating knockout power, but he has so much energy down and up that he can win. But Cain is coming off back surgery, so that's going to play into him. And we've seen what a lot of guys do when they try to take Travis Browne down up against the cage. He lands a lot of elbows and knocks your ass out. So if Cain loses, he's going to be at the bottom of the barrel, not even going for a title fight anymore. Cain, in the last couple of years, has only fought like once or twice. So even though he's a really popular fighter, a lot of people don't talk to him or talk about him. You don't hear it when they talk about heavyweights. They always talk about Fabricio Werdum being the best. They don't say, well, Cain Velasquez is the best pound-for-pound heavyweight of all time. I think Cain has something a lot of these heavyweights don't do. He comes in lighter, about 230. He has tremendously good wrestling, good boxing. I'm not sure about his jiu-jitsu game. He trained with Luke Rockhold and Daniel Cormier. But at the end of the day, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that training with DC and Luke Rockhold, whoever Travis Browne trains, I think he trains in the same training camp as, if I'm not mistaken, he trains out of the same training camp that Ronda Rousey does. So I'm not sure who else trains there, or if he's getting really high level training. But Travis Browne does have knockout power. He has the reach advantage. He has a height advantage, and he has devastating, brutal knockouts. But at the end of the day, I think Anderson-Silva's going to lose by decision, and I think Cain's going to win by decision, because you never see a Cain Velasquez fight really go where it stopped in the first round or stopped quickly because of a devastating, brutal knockout or his ground and pound. But at the end of the day, one fight's going to be UFC 200, which is the Cain versus Travis Browne fight, and UFC 198 is going to be Anderson-Silva versus Uriah-Hall, which I think is still going to be a pretty good fight. It might blow people away, but the dude's 40 years old, and he couldn't beat Michael Bisping. Who's going to say he's going to beat this dude? You know, Michael Bisping is a hell of a fighter, but I don't know, man. As always, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. Travis Brown's going to beat Cain, or do you think Cain's going to beat Travis Brown? Or do you think at the end of the day, Anderson Silva will come out victorious? Like I said, in the last 18 fights for Anderson Silva, he went 16 victories and losing 2 to Chris Weidman, beating Nate Diaz, and then losing to Michael Bisping. So after losing to Luke Rockhold, after losing to Chris Weidman, he's only had 1 victory ever since, and so he's 3 losses, 1 win. So that's really not that great for Anderson Silva, the guy who's looked at as the pound-for-pound best fighter of all time, with 16 consecutive wins.